Hey guys, Myles here at Tactical Hyve, out at the range. Today I want to do a comparison between a full-size P320, specifically the Wilson Combat P320, and what we had lying around was this device, which kind of reminds me of the guns that you see in Total Recall, the older movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and even also the new one. We want to do a comparison where this is the FLUX defense. There is a newer model called the Raider, but this is clearly going to allow you to have more control over your pistol, or supposedly. And we're going to test that out and see if there is anything that a shooter gains from using this versus just your normal pistol. This is, again, an older model. We just had it hanging around, but thought it would be a good idea. So we have the same full P320 slide on here on the FLUX defense. So we're gonna do a comparison. We're gonna run some drills, time everything, and then I'll let you know how I feel in terms of the recoil, accuracy, and we're gonna, again, run the same thing with both. And, you know, also just kind of give you impressions as to overall what I think about it. This is coming from a shooter's perspective. I'm no gunsmith. I don't really geek out on the details, guys, okay? So let me just put that out there. If I call certain things differently, the terminology, that's why. I just shoot these guns, okay? I enjoy shooting. If I hit my target fast and accurately, I'm happy. Before getting to the test, I just want to quickly talk about some of the main features of this. You know, I'm not really sure if you can term this a chassis or a frame, all right? Again, I'm no gunsmith, but the whole purpose of this is to give you more stability and control of the gun. And so some of the features of this chassis or frame, whatever you want to call it, it allows you to quickly deploy, okay, this stock. You can have it automatically deployed with a spring, or there's a spring here that you can take out, and so you can manually deploy this if you want to. So you can use this as a traditional stock if you'd like to. Again, more stability, handle recoil better. In addition to that is the frame here allows you to, it's not a grip, but it does give you a good place to actually rest your support hand, give you a little bit more control. There is this area for a spare mag. Okay, so you can add a spare mag here, load your actual mag here, and while you're releasing the mag that has just run out of bullets, you can automatically grab the other one. So you can quickly reload with this as well and not worry about grabbing another mag from your mag pouch. So we're going to test this out. There are some, I guess, cons, one might say, because, for example, some of this frame, or this chassis, again, it blocks the other side of the gun in terms of some of the controls. So when talking about, let's say, your slide release and slide lock, I can only activate it here as a righty, okay, on the left side of the gun, right? So if you were a lefty, it probably wouldn't work out for this particular model. Again, this is an older model. I don't know much about the Raider, so it's the newer model. Maybe it might have ambidextrous capabilities. Another cool thing about the FLUX defense, let's talk about the sights here. First, you notice a red dot here. You could potentially put any red dot on top, but it's attached to this, again, frame or chassis, and it is not on top of the slide. So the life of this red dot is going to last much longer. It's not going to take a lot of damage from the impact. So this slide is going to reciprocate back and forth, and it's not going to affect the life of the red dot. Also, which is pretty cool here, is let's say if your red dot goes down, there's this little opening here in the actual FLUX defense, the chassis here, where you can see your iron sights. And all you have to do is just, you know, change your vision, just duck down a little bit, move your eyes, and you have that as a backup. So pretty cool. They thought this out just in case the red dot goes down. All right, so let's give it a go. So the first test, I'm going to start off with the Wilson Combat P320, and I'm going to engage 5 pieces of steel on the buzzer. So we have a reference here. I'm going to shoot that close piece of steel on the left. Then there are 4 pieces of steel in the back that are kind of in the same distance, and then 1 further out. So 6 pieces of steel altogether. And we're going to just compare and contrast, and I'll give you my impressions. Take note, I do not have a lot of time at all with either of these firearms, so it's a true test, right? So I'm gonna go hot here, and on the buzzer, I'm going to engage the targets from a low ready position here. I'm gonna start from left to right, okay? Here we go. Okay, so I had to take 2 shots, missed the 4th steel, okay? I'm gonna try it one more time just because I'm getting a feel of this gun. Don't want any misses so I can have a good comparison to the FLUX defense. All right, here we go. So I had one miss on the 4th steel. Okay, again, not too familiar with this weapon system, the trigger, but that was a 5.17 with one miss. So let's compare it now to the FLUX defense. So the P320 without the FLUX defense, that was a 5.17 with one miss on the 4th target. All right, so let's take a look at how I perform with this from the low ready. Just get my sights here. Okay. So that was interesting because I felt a lot more control, but with the red dot, it was kind of getting in the way of my transitions, my vision. And so you could see that I also missed the 4th target, and I can't remember what it was, the far target there. And it could also be because the trigger, the feel of this trigger is completely different from the Wilson Combat P320. I will say that the pistol, the Wilson Combat P320 pistol has a very nice crisp trigger. This one I could feel that there was a longer pull, and that could have been the cause for me shanking a few of those shots. But the time there was 6.17, so it was literally a second slower. And I don't want to say that's necessarily because of the FLUX defense. It's just me not used to this. And again, it was just a little, I guess, uncomfortable when I was trying to already kind of get ahead of myself and see my next target for the transition. The red dot was kind of getting in the way a little bit. So I think with more time, I'd get used to it. What I felt as a shooter, definitely the brace here, or the stock, it is absorbing recoil much better. So definitely it's a lot more enjoyable to shoot than just the pistol alone. We're gonna do another test here and going to incorporate some movement. So what I'm going to do is on the buzzer, I'm going to start moving forward, engage that piece of steel here on the left, and then there are 2 small plates. I'm going to engage those on the move, and then 3 of the steel plates in the back here. Okay, so a total of 6 targets. And I'm going to time it and see again, if there's any advantage that I feel as a shooter using the FLUX defense versus just the normal pistol here. All right. So I'm going to start with the Wilson Combat and see how I do. Gonna do it from a ready position, and here we go. Okay, so that was a 860. Clearly several misses there. Had to slow down and to get the accuracy, but let's just see what we possibly gained using the FLUX defense. All right, so that was an 860 with several misses. Let's see how I do now with the FLUX defense. Definitely more misses. That was an 846. It was faster. So truthfully, I kind of felt it. I felt better nearer to the end. All right. So when I was engaging those plates, it was still. It could also be the red dot. The red dot is a big. It has a big circle. I'm not used to those types of red dots, so it kind of confused me a little bit. But it definitely, again, I could feel the difference in performance in the sense that there's less recoil, clearly because of this brace or stock. And as I got here to the end, it really did make a difference. Like I could feel the speed. It was just easier. That dot was moving much less. So based on this exercise, do I think that it helped out? There's an advantage? Absolutely. So with the movement, this allowed me to also stabilize the gun better. We're gonna do a third test here, which is kind of entertaining because the FLUX defense is huge, but we're gonna do it anyway because it actually comes with a holster. And so just for fun here, we're going to do on the buzzer, draw to one shot. That steel is about 7 yards away. I don't normally carry my holster this high. I don't carry concealed like this as well. So I don't really like this draw stroke, but we're gonna see because also the FLUX defense, their holster, I've never used it as well. So we'll see how I do here. Okay, here we go. Okay. So that was a 135 using the Wilson Combat P320 from outside the waistband. All right, back at 7 yards. I'm here with the FLUX defense, AKA Space Force gun, and we're gonna do the draw to one shot. I will say that the holster does have a retention device. I have to hit this, so it's gonna slow it down. Also, I can just already tell it from just shooting with a pistol, there's a lot more things I have to worry about here. So I'm already going to say it's gonna be slower, probably by a lot, but we'll see. Okay, here we go. Oh, and I am going to do this two ways. I'm going to do this one rep where I'm going to release this brace, and the second where I'm just going to draw and shoot. So this first one, I'm going to try to release the brace. I say try because again, I'm not so familiar with this system, but we'll see. All right, here we go. So as you can tell, that didn't work out very well. That was a 4.38, so much slower. The reason being, the holster was part of it, and then also this brace didn't fully come out. I don't know if there's a certain way to do this better where it actually would spring out and lock, but I felt it didn't lock, so I had to pull on it and then engage the target. Another thing that slowed me down was the fact that I had to, again, I'm not very used to this platform, so I had to worry about where my support hand was going. So that took a little time as well. But now that I got that rep out of the way, let's just see if I get faster without having to deal with this stock and now having a better understanding of where I need to put my support hand. All right, so that again was a 4.39. What I'm gonna do this time, I'm not going to release the brace, and also I'm going to just try and use my regular pistol grip and see if that makes a difference. I do have to defeat the retention on the holster, so that is gonna slow me down, but let's see how I do. Wow, felt very strange. Also, you probably saw the gun just bobbing all over the place because I was trying to get my traditional pistol grip, but because of the controls here, it was just a little strange, and it actually forced my grip a little bit lower, and so it didn't have that support hand crush, so you saw that gun wobbling. That was 2 shots and it was 260, so it was definitely faster than having to deal with the brace, but again, I'm not gonna say it's necessarily the FLUX defense. I'm not comfortable with this at all, and maybe through more reps I'll get faster, but when I use the brace, clearly it's just like a PDW, a rifle, you have that stock, so it is going to help with accuracy, follow-up shots, and just comfortability when shooting. All right, and the last test we're gonna run the 2 platforms through is just a simple 1-shot reload and then 1 shot. So we're gonna go from slide lock here. And technically speaking, the FLUX defense should probably be faster because the spare mag is already in the frame, right? So I can pull it, I don't have to reach down, but let's see how I do. I'm gonna do it off the buzzer here. Start off with the Wilson Combat P320. Okay, have my spare mag here, and here we go. Fumbled there a little bit, definitely could have been faster, just again, not so used to where the controls are for the P320. That was a 3.10, so again, slow, but let's compare it to the FLUX defense. Got the FLUX defense now, we're gonna do the same drill, 1, reload 1, and we'll see what the time is like. Okay, here we go, I'm gonna do this off the buzzer, okay. So that felt just uncomfortable. I blame it just not being used to this platform. That was actually slower, 352. And if you notice from the video, earlier I mentioned that technically I think it should be faster because the mag is right here, but it's just the familiarity with the platform. I actually had a kind of a pause because part of me initially, just from through all the training, where did my mind want to go when I ran out of ammo? To grab. And I actually paused myself and I had to realize it was up here. So again, I'm not saying it's the platform. There's a negative about it. It's just initial impressions here. I don't have any time other than what you're seeing right now with the FLUX defense. But I did like the fact when when I thought about it, where I have the option to keep this shouldered. I don't have to break it down, so I like this because it's so compact right here. And I think that with practice, I can actually get that much faster. And again, you have the option of keeping your gun on target or kind of breaking it down if you want to. Whereas with the pistol, typically, right, you're going to bring it into your workspace. So I like the fact that that was an option. There you go, a little quick comparison between a full-size P320, specifically the Wilson Combat P320, and using the same full P320 slide on the FLUX Defense. One thing that I didn't mention earlier is that the FLUX Defense also has a QD mount, so you can attach a sling to it, like this right here, a single point sling, and most likely this is probably how people will carry it rather than the holster. The holster did feel a little unsecure. Maybe it was because I'm using an inner belt, Velcro inner belt, and that retention device there made it a little bit slower. So I'm thinking if someone was going to be carrying this, they'll probably have it slung up, just an easier way to deploy. If you've tried the FLUX Defense, I'd love to know what you think about it in the comments below. Also, the FLUX Raider, I honestly haven't even seen that. If there's some big advantages or improvements to that, let us know in the comments so that we know about it as well. And as always, guys, like, share, comment. See you in the next video.